यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health with great immunity, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter number 18. ओम श्री कृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः। अथ अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसंन्यासयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच संन्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य च हृषीकेश पृथक्केशि निषूदन। The name of the 18th chapter is called Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. The title which denotes two kinds of main topic of Bhagavad Gita. What are they? Moksham and Sannyasa. What is Moksham? Moksham is liberation. And what is Sannyasa? Sannyasam is nothing to renounce something. Okay. Now, before entering into the chapter, we have to have a bird eye view about the past. Bhagavad Gita began from Arjuna's sorrow. The first chapter through which Arjuna prepared himself to be a student. The Arjuna who was a king converted himself as a student to Krishna, and Krishna who was also a king who converted himself as a teacher to Arjuna. Therefore, in the first chapter, there is a conversation, the conversation from one side. Arjuna only speaks. He keeps on speaking. Then finally what happens? He poured everything. Then he becomes silent. Then Krishna begins. So when a student comes to a guru, he has to surrender to him first. That's what happened. That was kept as a beginning of the second chapter. From second chapter to 17th chapter. We have completed up to the 17th chapter. Okay. The second chapter, which consists the whole content of Bhagavad Gita. Now, what the content that second chapter contains? The content which is elaborated through 15 chapters up to the 17th chapter. Now, just we can bring under 9 categories of topics. Let us understand what these 9 topics are. First, Padatraya Vicharaha. Padatraya means what? The inquiry on 3 words. What are they? 3 words are from one sentence. That one sentence which is called Mahavakya. What does that mean? What is Mahavakya? Is it a great, huge sentence? No. It's a small sentence. Tattvamasi, which is the essence of the entire Upanishads or Vedas. It's known as Tattvamasi. And there are 3 more Mahavakyas. What are they? Prajnanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. All of them communicates the same content. Now, Tattvamasi is the first Upadesha Paramahavakya, the Mahavakya, which is in the form of a teaching. What is Tat? What is Tvam? What is Asi? The first 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which describes about the Tvam Padartha Vishesha. Tvam means what? You. You, the individual consciousness. You, the microcosmic consciousness, is described elaborately. That's what the content of the first 6 chapter. Then the next 6 chapter, which talks about the macrocosmic consciousness. Macrocosmic consciousness means what? The collective consciousness. It gives about the detail about entire world and the cause of the world, which is in the form of the consciousness. Then the third 6th chapter, which teaches about the equation between these two, the collective consciousness and individual consciousness. What is the oneness? How it becomes one? Is it one or both are different from each other? That is said, we call it Asipadartha Visheshaha, which talks about equation. Okay, this is the main content. Again, we go to Ghatakatraya Vishesha. What is that? The first 6 chapter, which emphasizes on the self-effort. One should make the effort. One should make the effort to pursue the spiritual destination. How one should make effort. Without effort, nothing can be achieved. Okay? What kind of effort must be? That individual effort. That becomes what? The third traya. Sadhana traya viveka. The prayatna, which is said as karma yoga. Therefore, you could see in the first 6 chapters, the karma yoga was emphasized like anything. That's what called prayatna, self-effort, swaprayatna, individual effort. Okay. In the next 6 chapter, what happened? Only the self-effort is not enough to get the success. Then what? We need to have what? Anugraha means the grace of Ishvara, the grace of macrocosmic consciousness called Ishvaraha. For that, what should I do? I have to have what? Bhakti or Upasana. Through Bhakti, what I would get? Prasada. Prasada means what? Prasada Buddhi, as the Anugraha of Ishvara. Therefore, the second Vichara means Ghatakatraya, I said, the 3 factors, that is known as second factor is Prasada. It's called Prasada. From the second 6th chapter, we learn it. That is what also called Bhakti Yoga or Upasana Yoga from the angle of Sadhana Traya. Then the third aspect is what? The third Ghataka means the third factor, which we call it Sadguna. The last 6th chapter, which emphasizes on Sadguna. Sadguna means what? The qualities and qualifications for spiritual or normal life to become successful. That Sadguna is connected with what? Jnana Yoga. Therefore, Ghatakatraya and Sadhanatraya, 3 kinds of factors for successful life, 3 kinds of means for moksha are one and the same. These 9 topics have been described with the 15 chapters in the Bhagavad Gita. What are the 9 topics? I'll repeat once again. So we call it Padatraya Vicharaha, Tvam-pada, Tat-pada, Asi-pada Vicharaha. Then what are the Ghatakatraya Vicharaha? Prayatna Vicharaha means the glory of self-effort, the glory of Prasada. Prasada Vicharaha means the grace of the Ishvara. Then Sadgunas, good qualifications, qualities, that which helps to our successful life. Then the third of 3 gunas means the 3 factors, we call it sadhanani. First emphasizes karma yoga, the second emphasizes on upasana yoga. Upasana means, you know that, communication with God. Karma yoga means what? You are dealing with your own karma phala. You neutralize karma phala. You just convert your karma phala into sadhana, which is known as bhakti, upasana. Then the last one is jnana yoga. Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Jnana Yoga. The Karma Yoga is emphasized as the self-effort. Upasana Yoga, which is emphasized as the prasada of Ishvara. Jnana Yoga, which is supported by Sadguna. That's all. We can keep as 3 groups. Tvam-pada Vicharaha, due to Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is nothing but self-effort. Then Tatpada Vicharaha, the inquiry on Ishvara, only because of the grace of Ishvara, which is not prasada. The grace can be achieved through Upasana, which is called Bhakti. Then the third group is Asipada Vicharaha, which is the inquiry on the equation of 2 consciousness, which is supported by Sadgunas. And the Sadgunas will help forward to get the Jnana Yoga Siddhi. These 9 topics have been described a lot in elaborate way. Now this is the summary. This summary is called Upasamhara summary. The second chapter also is the summary, which gives the bird eye view of entire Bhagavad Gita. That we call it Upakrama Samkshepaha. Now it is Upasamhara Samkshepaha. In the second chapter, we had the bird eye view. That was the beginning, initiating bird eye view. This is the ending bird eye view. It is known as Simhavalokanam, just looking behind, means looking back, what and all that we have completed. Therefore, this 18th chapter is the essence of entire Bhagavad Gita. That's all. Now it begins with the question, Sannyasasya Mahabaho Tattvamichhami Veditum. Now again Arjuna asked the same question which he asked in the beginning. I would like to know the real meaning of sannyasa and tyaga, because these 2 words are attracting to him, because he wanted to quit from the battlefield. He didn't want to fight. He wanted to take sannyasa, but he was not thinking to take sannyasa when he lived in the forest. After coming to see, the enemies are nothing but the relatives. After seeing Bhishma and Drona, Kripa and Ashwatthama, he became so emotionally blind. Therefore, now he wants to quit. Therefore, sannyasa is attractive. Like we also, when there is a problem, we use the method of escapism. So now he wants to use, or he wants to justify through the sannyasa name for his escapism. Therefore, again he talks about sannyasa. He wants to grab, supportive meaning from Krishna. But Krishna never gave. Krishna said, he suggested a sannyasa which is not real sannyasa. The real sannyasa means what? Giving up everything. But Krishna, he suggested only about inner sannyasa to him, to Arjuna. Therefore, again he is asking the question. He says, I would like to know the meaning of sannyasa and tyaga. Sannyasa means what? Renunciation. Tyaga means what? To give up. To sacrifice. Now, renunciation and sacrifice. What is the meaning of these 2? Now, Bhagavan, he just gives the meaning which is generally said by the scholars in the first 2 shloka. Means in the second and third shloka, Bhagavan Krishna gives the normal perception, means the perception of the scholars, not his opinion. Just he is presenting the general opinion by the scholars. That's what the second verse, let us read it. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahostyagam Vichakshana. The sannyasa means what? To give up kamya karma. That's what the scholars say. Sannyasa means what? To give up kamya karma. Now what is kamya karma? Because total karma for a human being which are prescribed by Upanishad or Vedas are in 5 categories. What are they? Karma, Naimittika karma, Prayashchitta karma, Kamya karma, Nishiddha karma. Now Nitya karma means what? It has to be done on daily basis, like Sandhya Vandana, prayer, Panchamaha Yajna, all these things we have seen elaborately. Naimittika means occasionally we have to get it done. That is also regular. Means on the basis of Paksha, on the basis of month, on the basis of year. Now Shraddha, Tarpana, then in every Paksha there is Ekadashi, all those things, Then the third one is Prayashchitta. If you miss Nitya and Naimittika, you have to perform Prayashchitta. Then Kamya karma means if you are lacking of something, like Dasharatha did for Putra Kameshti Yaga, because he was not having children. Therefore, that is what Kamya karma. The final one is Nishiddha karma, completely prohibited. Okay, so we are not going to talk about that prohibited karma. Now, these three karmas have been performed, means Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Prayashchitta karma. One should not give up. The only Kamya karma is to given up. That has to be sacrificed. It has to be renounced. That is what is said as a sannyasa by the scholars. Then what about the Tyaga? Tyaga means what? Sacrificing things. They say, Sarva karma phalatyagam prahus tyagam vichakshanaha. The scholarly people say the definition for Tyaga is to drop the result of action, not the actions. That's all the simple meaning. Now, answer have been given. Sannyasa means what? To drop Kamya karma. Then, Tyaga means what? To drop only karma phala. Again, in the second verse, he says, Sannyasa, there are two kinds of gurus. They give the definition of sannyasa. What is that? One group say, this entire karma itself defectful. Karma means there is a defect. Doshavat karma. Karma means, wherever you begin any karma, whether it is Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Kamya karma, doesn't matter. See, all karmas they are stressful and endowed with lots of tension. Therefore, what sannyasa means, one should give everything up like Ramana Maharshi. He should not even take care about his health. Just he had to sit. That's what one group of people say. Another group of people say, no. So only Kamya karma alone has to be given up. See, Yajna, Dana, Tapah karma, Natyajam, iti chapare. So one more group people say, no. So you have to give up certain karmas, not all dharmas. There is Yajna karma, Dana karma, Tapah karma. Yajna means the rituals from Vedas. Dana means charity. And Tapaha means austerity. These three are to be followed. They should not be given. That's what the conclusion from the third verse. Now Bhagavan I have given the perception of other people. Now sannyasa means one group says you have to give up completely. That is the meaning from Shastra. To give up completely. Physically you have to give up everything. Okay. And the another people, physically you should not give up. You should help for the entire universe. Like Swami Vivekananda did. He sacrificed the selfishness. Till he took sannyasa and he continued for Naraseva as a Narayana Seva. That sannyasa is the sannyasa one should be acceptable. That sannyasa is the sannyasa one should accept. That is the second group. Now, the meaning of Tyaga is being given. The meaning of sannyasa also is being given by Bhagavan Krishna. Now, the meaning of Tyaga and meaning of sannyasa both have been given by Bhagavan Krishna, not as his own opinion. Now, he is going to give his judgment. Okay, that comes from verse number 4. Now, the general opinion, Tyaga means what? To give up the result of karma. There we need not to take this kashaya. No need. And in order to take sannyas also means to renounce. To renounce there are two kinds. So kamya karma only can be sacrificed, means renounced. This yajna, dana, tapa, karma have to be followed with the Naishkarmya Siddhi. That is the second group of people. Now Bhagavan gives his verdict. Let us begin. Nishchayam shrunu me tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyagha trivedha samprakirtitaha. Arjuna, you just listen to my verdict. Nishchayam me shrunu. This is my verdict. Okay. Now Krishna is following a language of psychological expert. Okay. The person who knows psychology, who knows how to handle the opposite one according to his maturity level. Now Krishna is very much aware about Arjuna. The Arjuna is not fit for real sannyasa. Therefore what? He has to suggest him for the sannyasa, means karma phala tyaga sannyasa. That's all. Now he is going to give the answer in order to establish the inner sannyasa. That is what is called sannyasa. He says, Nishchayam shruname tatra tyage bharata sattama. In order to understand sannyasa, you should understand the real meaning of tyaga, Arjuna. You should know the real meaning of sacrificing karma phala. So they are three in categories. Tyaga is divided into three levels. What are they? Yajna dana tapah karma natyajam karyam eva tat yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam yetan yapitu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavyani ti me patha nishchitam madam uttamam. Bhagavan says, so when you want to give up, you should know what that you are going to give up. Now he glorifies the three karmas, yajna, dana, tapah, karma. Okay, so he says this yajna, dana, tapah, karma. Yajna means the ritual from Vedas, dana means charity, and tapaha means austerity of the life. One should not give up. Natyajam karyameva tat. You should not give up. You have to follow, because they are the purifier of entire human being. Manishinam pavanani. They purify the human being. But you have to follow without selfishness. Yetan yapitu karmani sangam tatva phalani cha. You have to perform this yajna, dana, tapah, karma not for the sake of materialistic benefit, for the sake of spiritual growth. So how can we perform that? Just remove the attachment. Sangam tyaktva. And not expecting the materialistic result. Just you perform as a sadhana. Now you see, physically he is not suggesting him to give up. Now he talks about three kinds of tyagas. Niyatasya tu sannyasah karmano nopapadyate moha tasya parityagaha tamasah parikirtitaha. The person, one who wants to give up yajna, dana, tapah, karma, not knowing the fact. If you are born as a human being, you have to follow nitya karma, naimittika karma, and prayashchitta karma. The kamya karma has to be performed without the selfishness. But not knowing, people, they just wants to give up. Because of the delusion, they think, not being befit for the sannyasa, but they are attracted by the sannyasa. Because, like Arjuna is attracted towards sannyasa. Not having qualifications, not knowing what they are really, what they need really, but sannyasa is attracted to them. If they give up, that giving up, that sacrifice is known as tamasika sacrifice, tamasika tyaga. Dukkam ityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayatyajeta sakratva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. The second variety, Rajasa Tyagam, is the people, they know the value of Yajna, Dana, Tapa, Kriya. But they know the risk of them also. When you perform, you should have lots of effort and lots of money. You should balance with the people. You should adjust with the people. You have to keep the proper attitude. Oh, these are all risk and this is, headache here. Just give up. I don't want to take risk. This kind of Tyaga is considered as a Rajasika Tyaga. Then the next, Karyametyeva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna Sangam tektva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko mataha. So if you are sacrificing only the result of the action and you just adopt a proper attitude and following all the rituals, this Tyaga is considered Satvika, which will give the Chitta Shuddhi, that Chitta Shuddhi which gives the eligibility to pursue the Jnana Yoga is the proper Tyaga. Therefore, Arjuna, you have to adapt Satvika Tyaga. That is the message from Lord Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll continue to the next words from tomorrow. Harihi Om. And may the Almighty Lord Venkateshwara bestow great immunity to entire humanity. For that, we will just chant his mantra, Maha Mantra, Om Namo Venkateshaya, Om Namo Venkateshaya, Om Namo Venkateshaya. See you tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.